What's going on, people? It's your man Nicolay from the Foreign Exchange. You're watching Distortion the Static. Don't flip that dial. Keep it right here. No commercial breaks, nothing. Just keep it right here. Distortion the Static. Peace.
All right, for sure, man. For those who don't know, man, just talk about your resume. Talk about what you've done in the game so far.
Well, I would say I started out in 2000. Had my first record out in 2002, which was Light It Up, Little Brother. Dropped a Foreign Exchange record in 2004. That did really, really well. Been fortunate enough to be able to quit my job and move here even recently in order to further pursue music.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's been real, in a nutshell, like 6 years. It's been crazy.
All right, cool. I mean, what did you expect from the Foreign Exchange album, and how far did it exceed your expectations, man?
As far as like 100%, man. Like we knew it was dope. There was no question about that. It was some good music, but we had no idea. We didn't really even intend to put it out at first. Like only once it was finished is when we decided to shop it around. The reactions from people just really blew us away. I mean, we both knew it was a real solid album, but we got a lot of props from both critics and audience and our peers, and our influences, our mentors. So it was definitely an eye opener for me. Yeah.
And the Foreign Exchange album is what?
It's me on the beats and Fonte on the rhymes, if you want to put it in one sentence. And the bigger picture is it's an album full of production by Nicolay and Fonte doing the vocal concept behind it, whether it's rhyming or singing, along with good friends like Darian Brockington and Yazra. And so it's a group. If you want to, you want to call it a group, you can definitely call it a group, a duo, whatever you want to,
Definitely. Okay, so we usually don't get a lot of people from outside of the U.S. on the show, so yeah, I'm asking a few questions about your upbringing.
Oh, cool.
So where are you from initially, and just talk about how you grew up, man.
All right, I'm from a town called Utrecht, which is 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam, 30-minute train ride. Kind of a small, historic town. Okay. Old, dates back to the Roman Empire, so it's like, 2,000 and some years old. And I've had a really, I'd say average, normal, nice, middle-class upbringing, very nice parents. And my mom has been playing music ever since I can remember, and she is the one that really got me into listening to records and studying music, like actually studying it. Want to listen about what in a song, what it is that I like, stuff like that. Figure that out.
Okay. So, what kind of music did your mom listen to, and when did the hip hop influence come into place, man?
Yeah, my mom, she plays everything from classical music to Stevie Wonder. She's got a lot of Nina Simone records. She plays Neil Young, like she plays like the band and all that, 60s and 70s like stuff. And she's just really broad in her taste of music, and that's definitely had its reflection on me because I'm very much the same. And but obviously hip hop wasn't one of the things that she played. That's kind of I got into hip hop when MTV Europe started airing Yo MTV Reps, which was in 91, 92, and so I just happened to stumble into that, and that was daily, man. It was like 6:30, at night, so it was daily, and on Saturday the Five Freddy special, and I watched it from that moment on, like each episode, saw all the videos, like the live performances in the studio, and it just sparked something in me that it's hard to kind of explain what it is, but it did.
So, why did you hook up with Big Pooh as opposed to anybody else? Like, how did that connection come apart?
You mean Big Pooh or Fonte?
Or Fonte.
Yeah, no, that's all.
Fonte, excuse me.
No, that's cool. I mean, we hooked up with both actually, because they both together they're little brother. Really, the story is as follows. Fonte is a member of the OK Player message boards, and so am I. And we talked about music and life in general and whatever. And he was one of the first people that heard my beats.
Okay.
And I didn't have anything planned with him at the time, and he actually was like, yo, if you, I don't know what you're doing with your beats, but me and my crew, we'd like to rock it. His crew, meaning him and Big Pooh, your little brother. So that happened. By the time that we were like 5, 6 songs deep, Big Pooh kind of felt like it wasn't really totally going in the direction that he was comfortable going in. Big Pooh is very much a Biggie type person, a very street, type person. He likes his stuff boom bap, rough, hard, right, to the point, basic. And we were doing more like musical, atmospheric stuff, different kind of tempos. Mm-hmm. So he decided to kind of work on a solo album, and me and Fonte finished the Foreign Exchange, and did the whole thing online, as most people may know, and that's how we did it.
Word, man. That's cool. I mean, one thing about your album that most people seem to know is that it was done online, and so why don't you talk about the advancements of technology from when you grew up to now, just how technology has influenced hip hop and yourself in the game, man.
I mean, it's very easy to explain. Like 10 years ago, we would not have a foreign exchange, because I didn't have the money to fly over to North Carolina. He didn't have the money to fly over to Amsterdam, and the internet made it very easy for us to communicate. And that is a really recent, a recent new thing, that the world gets a lot smaller because of communication tools, and people from different countries, different cultures get to meet each other, talk to each other, get to know each other, get to know what the other person is about. And I think ultimately that could be really good for everybody. Definitely. A little more understanding, and a little less nonsense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. In case y'all didn't know, my man Nicolay got some other stuff out besides Foreign Exchange, man. Why don't you talk about some of the other projects you got out now and that is coming up in the future, man?
One thing I did was the City Lights album, which is like a beat tape instrumental record that dropped last year on BBE. I have the Dutch Masters mixtape out. That is the kind of like the street Nicolay, if you will. It's got a lot of, like, it's a little bit more edgy. And right now it's all about Here, which is my latest album. It dropped September 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's my latest album. I'm touring right now to promote it, and that's where I am right now, man. Here.
Okay, cool. Just for the beat makers out there, there's a lot of people that watch our show that listen to beats. I mean, what comprises, or what thoughts go to your head when you make a beat, and what type of instruments do you use, man? I mean, if you don't want to tell those secrets, it's cool, man. It's all good.
Man, I was just looking at your man, seeing if he's cool with the sound and everything. Yeah, right. All right. Well, basically my setup, right, is what you real. Right. My setup basically like evolves around the computer. I've never had an MPC. I don't. It's not like. I mean, it wasn't a very common thing in Europe. So it was just nothing that I naturally got introduced to. So I use a laptop, and I use turntable mixer to sample. I use my keyboards to lay down keys and tracks, a bass guitar, sometimes real drums, mostly programmed. And I'll sample from whatever I can lay my hands on. So really it's a computer-based studio. Definitely, man. Yeah.
Word, man. You got any shout-outs you want to give to anybody out there, man?
Man, I want to shout out Distortion to Static. They got, they're in it for the long haul tonight. So you got to love that, man. That's right. Appreciated. Thank you, San Francisco. It's been wonderful. It's a beautiful city. Got to see Alcatraz. That's big for me, what I'm saying? Got to see the Golden Gate Bridge, City Hall, that looks beautiful. Yeah. Shout out to my girl Amy Flint for hooking everything up. Yeah. And shout out to my man Gritty Grimes for holding it down on the mic while I was spinning. No doubt, man. It's been real nice.
No doubt.